Hi, it's the end of the long day at FINOVATE, so I'm with Brett today. So hi Brett, how are you doing?
Hi, good, thanks.
Well, congratulations for your demo, which seemed like so long ago, but this morning, yeah? One of the very first ones. Currency Fair, it's a great concept actually. It touches a lot of topics we cover at Visible Banking, engagement with people, the choice, transparency, community. Could you please talk us through the concept here?
Absolutely. Well, Currency Fair is really based on the idea that there's a better way to exchange money than using a bank or a broker. And it's based on what I actually used to do myself personally. I'm Australian, I've been living out in Ireland. And rather than, I actually got...
How would you do that actually? You should be in Sydney, in Australia actually, the weather is better.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I got stung by a bad transfer once, and when I realised what the cost was, well, you know, the bank were doing virtually nothing. It's an electronic transfer and they thought it was fine to take a few hundred euros. So I decided, right, I'm not going to do this anymore. So if I needed to send money to Australia, rather than send it through the bank, I would call up my Australian friends and ask them if they had spare Aussie dollars, needed some sterling or some euro that I had plenty of, and then why don't we do the transaction directly, right? So we look up the interbank rate and we'll just transfer the money between our accounts. You give me some Aussie down in Australia, that's a local transfer, it doesn't cost anything. I'll give you some sterling, again, local transfer doesn't cost anything. We get the interbank rate. And then I started to think that this should be on the internet, right? This is exactly what the internet is good at. It brings people together, because I couldn't always find a friend to do this with. So let's set up a marketplace which lets people do this themselves.
When was that again? Sorry to interrupt. When? Yeah.
Well, bad transfer was probably 8-9 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
And to be honest, the idea was from back then as well, but it's the sort of thing that you sit on for a while because there's a lot involved in setting up. You know, the end product's quite simple, but you know, you need to be regulated. You know, you need to have all the IT systems have to work. We couldn't do this without good IT systems.
And the timing, the customer experience, people getting used to use those marketplaces. I mean, it's yeah.
Yeah, but so we went live back in May 2010, but we were working on it full time for a year before that, and part time for another year before that. So a lot of effort. And to be honest, if I'd known what was involved back then, I'm not sure whether I'd still be here.
It was worth it. Yeah. It's very innovative actually, and so you see that people's adoption is there. I mean, people are convinced straight away when they see the savings. Or what's the best argument actually in favor of Currency Fair?
Yeah, I mean, originally we thought that it was all about the good exchange rates, and I think that's certainly probably the most important thing. It has to have that for it to be popular. But we're finding people enjoy a lot of other things about it as well. And one of those big things is control. You know, just this ability to have control over the rate. I mean, you can pick your own rate and offer it up, and then change your mind, drop it, and we know people like that. But in terms of when people see the site and whether they want to sign up or not, I think a lot of that comes down to that, you know, they need to trust it, and luckily a lot of our customers come from existing customers, so we get a lot of referrals and post reports, and that helps. We've had good press as well, you know, particularly in the Financial Times, the Guardian, and things like that. So that helps with build credibility.
Of course.
And I think we're getting to the point now where we're getting to a certain size where there's enough people talking about us that people realise that it is a safe and legitimate alternative.
Yeah, brand awareness and the trust, being able to trust the service is very important. Yeah. What about social media? How engaged or connected are you with the key, social communities?
Yeah.
Because for brand awareness to increase that and drive adoption of the site, that's probably one of your best shots and the most cost efficient as well.
I think you're right, and when you're looking at our main client base, which is expats, they tend to be big Facebook users and so on, because it's
exactly. Keep in touch with you.
It was all about photos, wasn't it? And keep in touch with people at home. So I think that's something we are probably not doing as well as we could. I mean, we have a Facebook page and we do try to post on it as much as possible. And what I do like is, even though we don't have that many likes on our Facebook page at the point, I think we have 500 or so, we do get good engagement rate when we post. So these are real likes, and we get a lot of posts on our page and things like that. So it's something we can get better at. I think you're exactly right. It should be something we should be good at.
But what about an app? I don't know, something which would link your platform, your service into Facebook, you know what I mean, based on gamification. We talk about gamification all the time. You said size of communities, which is nothing if people are not engaged. But still, it's fun, and people, spread the word around you. So that could be one way to drive adoption.
I mean, we've built that into to our trading process now that when you complete the quick trade, there's links there to tweet.
Okay, so the sharing features to spread the word online.
So we'll see how that goes. We only released that last week.
Okay.
But I mean, one thing we do take, we're a low-cost provider with low margins, right? High volume. But one thing we decided very early on that we wouldn't cut costs on was our customer service. So we have phone lines that are open sort of 12 hours a day, 5 days a week.
You have
very responsive emails. And that's very important because a lot of where we get talked about online, it's not always about I got this great rate. It's often about someone called me up and talked me through the transaction. So we're very focused on that kind of thing, and that naturally also lends itself into the social media side.
Okay.
It is about it's a community of people exchanging with each other. So
a fantastic topic, yeah. Okay, well, congratulations for that. Anything you wanted to add, or what's next for the platform then in 2012?
Well, there's a lot happening this year. I mean, we've just spent a lot of time revamping the website. That's ongoing. So this year you should see apps coming out that enable you to do a lot of the functionality on the phone. So you can already, but obviously just as visiting the website, which is kind of really awkward. So we'll be doing that. There's a huge amount going on. We'll be expanding into other currencies.
Great.
So watch this space.
Fantastic. Well, an exciting year.